NetSupport DNA is designed to make software license management as easy as possible for any enterprise or organization. By default, the product is designed to scan individual PCs and provide a full summary of their software inventory. Let's select the inventory component and have a look at our summary. Perhaps most importantly to start with is that NetSupport DNA scans on 3 distinct levels for software data. At the first level, NetSupport DNA identifies software programs that are installed on each PC. Programs being, for example, products such as Microsoft Office, Adobe Creative Suite and so on, the typical entries you would find in your Add or Remove Programs folder. At a second level, NetSupport DNA also scans and discovers all applications installed. And naturally, many applications will be a subset of an overarching program. And then at a final level, NetSupport DNA also can be set to scan and look for individual file types, perhaps documents or music files, anything where an organization may be concerned about, from a negative point of view, disk wastage, or from a positive point of view, to ensure key documents don't miss server-side backups on a nightly basis. So let's have a look in the DNA console at how all those elements come together. Now we're on our software inventory summary. You'll see we have a breakdown of programs that have been discovered within our workstations on this example database, and we can see the company detail, and where appropriate we can see if license information has been allocated against them. In this case we have for NetSupport DNA, and we can also see a count of installed programs. Now, as we've seen with each of the components in NetSupport DNA, this summary view is controlled by our view menu here, and at the current time we're choosing to see programs that have been installed. We could switch to an application view to see all applications that have been installed on the enterprise, and of course we can search to suit our requirements. In this case we can search to see the least or the most are installed. In this case Skype, there are 12 copies installed on the network. We can choose to look at files that have been detected on individual PCs, in this case doc and MP3, and we'll show you shortly how to configure that. And finally, if we wish, we could also see hotfixes that are applied for each machine. So with those 3 levels, what we need to do is manage our structure for licensing and how the components sit together. So let's have a look under our software inventory menu, and you'll see we have our program and application manager. So let's select the program manager. And the first view, the program manager, provides a brief summary of our definition of programs, namely items that you would typically find in your Add Remove Programs entry, and applications being those individual applications that are found across your PC. So within programs, we have all of the different programs that have been discovered on the NetSupport Enterprise. And let's make things easy just by typing in here the name NetSupport, and we can scroll down and see we have NetSupport DNA as a program, and we can now review the license information. You'll see here we have 1,000 licenses, a purchase date of the 14th of October, the location, in this case the UK, the supplier was NetSupport, and we have a maintenance renewal scheduled in 12 months' time. Now, selecting this entry here allows us to edit the license information, and you'll see, as you would expect, we have key license information, financial accounting, so invoice number, amounts, purchase order and cost center assignment. If we wanted to, we could also access and view documents associated with the particular purchase. We can then identify the supplier. This was from a third party, and we have the third party information in the list, and if we wish to, we can pull up information about that third party. We then have details, if applicable, of any maintenance associated with this software license, in this case an annual maintenance contract and an associated cost. And finally, we can also allocate our licenses, either fully across the whole enterprise or individually, where we can specify which departments our licenses are assigned to. Now we have that information, we now have a detailed record of the license allocation for our organization. Let's jump to our Applications tab, and we'll look now under NetSupport again. And we'll see as we scroll down the list here, there are a number of components that are associated with NetSupport. Here, the DNA console, the database wizard and so on, that are all part of the NetSupport DNA program. So for each of these, we can identify the individual item. Let's have a look at the DNA console, and it identifies to us that this is a component we wish to show in both our software inventory and metering views. So is this relevant to us? Perhaps a good example would be Notepad. We might not wish to show that in our summaries, as licensing issues don't really exist with Notepad. We can also look at the associated application and revise that if we wish to. and we can also see which applications are associated with this group. Typically over time, you'll have a number of versions of the same application that you may wish to report collectively under a single application heading. And then finally within DNA, we also provide, again as an option, the ability to create your own custom categories. In this case, we've chosen to assign this product against our own custom category of support tools. And within DNA, you might have categories of games, multimedia tools, social media, whatever the different categories are that you might find useful from a reporting point of view. So now we have our applications that are assigned against a particular program, and our program is where we assign our licensing information. And as you can see here, we now see that against our licenses for NetSupport, we have 1,000 licenses and a fixed number that have so far been used. If we want to configure and adjust our categories for software files that we're discovering, we can go to our software inventory settings, and you'll see on our settings here we have the ability to specify whether we wish to scan additional folders and whether we want to scan for certain file types. At the current time, we've chosen to scan for doc and MP3 files. This can be configured, and you'll see there's a list of predefined types specified, and you can add as many additional ones as you require for your use. And we can choose where we want to scan for documents. In this case, we're looking in the Documents and Settings folder for users, but we could, rather than being inclusive, we could search for all areas except specific folders, and we can apply conditional criteria in terms of we're only interested in files beyond a certain size. So once that's done and run, when we come back to our software inventory view, we can simply choose to look at files, and if we jump to a department, perhaps the channel department here, you'll see we have 97 MP3 files. We can drill down and we can see the full details of all those files and the machines in which they're stored on. So nice and simple and easy to use, NetSupport DNA provides 3 levels of software management: licensing of our software programs, detailed summaries of all of our software applications that are installed, and disk usage and locations of all of our key files. In one of our subsequent video tours, we'll talk about application metering, where we can join the 2 parts together, and then we can identify not only what applications are currently installed, but we can see when they're being used and by whom at any point in the day. Thank you for viewing this tour. Please visit www.netsupportdna.com to find out more, or if appropriate, download a free 30-day trial.